Hello plant parents, welcome to the freshly baked new episodes on Plantopedia, where I talk about A to Z of every plant on this universe. And today's plant we have is a beautiful Zamioculcas, which I think most of you guys have. So in case you don't know how to take care of it or what type of a plant it is and where you can keep it, do keep watching this episode till the end. And before you do that, don't forget to subscribe below and hit the bell button so we keep giving you beautiful updates and make sure that you grow healthier, bushier and greener babies. And as I talked about, today I have this plant which is known as a ZZ plant, a ZZ plant or a Zamioculcas zelkii. It's basically a beautiful species which thrives even in some of the worst conditions. Very easy to propagate, very easy to grow. And if you are a new plant parent or even an old one, or you want to keep something on your center tables or something where you can't take care much about your plant, I think this is one of the plants which you should have. And it's available very readily across different regions of India and even the world. And you can find them in the local nurseries, garden centers or even online. But before you go ahead and buy this, these are some of the do's and don'ts you should look at while you're buying the plant. The first thing is you should check about is how many stems are there. So in one of the videos when we talked about the propagation of this plant, we did talk about that how many seeds or how many plant leaves you should put in here to grow a healthy plant. So if you put 4 of them, you will get something like this. If you put 6 of them, you might put a bigger one. If you have a smaller one, maybe just 1 or 2 stems only for propagation, then you might have a lesser bushier one. So whenever you're going and buy this online or at any of the places in the garden centers, and that can be defined from the number of stems which are coming in from here. So as you can see in this, there are approximately 12 to 13 of them. A good plant should have somewhere around 12 to 15 at max 20 of them on a 5 to 6 inch pot. Good one to have because this is something which makes it really bushier. Also make sure that you don't have a lot of plants which are going really up or down. So a symmetric plant is something which will give a good look to your indoors. So always make sure when you're buying that they are bushier. The number of stems should be 12 to 20 of them. In case you have a smaller area, you can put a smaller, thinner stems, but for a center area it should ideally be, or a 5 inch pot, ideally be a 12 to 15 or at max 20 stems coming out of it. Also look at that they are at the same height. That's the second part of it. Also you have to make sure is that in what media this has been grown. A lot of times you will see that these are growing in soil, which is not something we recommend, because eventually you will see that when they come indoors, they will react very differently and weirdly. So you might see the smell coming in, or you might see that whenever you pour water, they just deplete really fast. So the plant doesn't get the ample water. So always make sure that you have a soil-less media, preferably a coco peat or a peat moss mixed media. Ideally, today's time, all the good garden centers have shifted from soil to a coco peat sort of a media. And if you buy it from any of the good sectors or garden stores, you will find that the media is a good one. Also, you have to make sure is that there are no holes or there's no fungal activity which is happening in it. So just look at how many new leaves are coming in, are they fresh enough, and if there is anything specific which is bugging the plant. So for example, there are a lot of bug bites happens, or there might be few fungal activity, because of which you will see that your stems are falling down, so they are not strong enough and they are either looping in and they're getting rotten at the back. At the soil level. So don't buy those ones. Let's talk about its care, and these are 4 aspects you should look about when you're looking at a plant care. The quick one, as I said, is water. Always make sure that you don't give a lot of water to this plant. So these have bulbs inside, which you can see in the photos, that these are these small bulbs which are there, which are kept inside the media. And whenever you're watering, they also absorb along with the roots this water. If you put more of them or you put abrupt watering, you will see that these will swell up and rot, because they will not know when they get a water. So whenever they will get it, they will absorb. So always make sure that you don't do a sporadic watering. and always do lesser cycles. So if you realize that you are in an area where you do once a week, then it's doing good enough. So always do once a week only. Don't do it after 3 weeks and then, or maybe 3 times a week, and you will see your plant doing really well. You can do the spoon test, as I always talk about. It's there in Anuke Nuske and in the plant care page also of ZZ, that how to check the water levels and how often and how much you should give a water. It's there in that category. The second quick check which you have to see when you're buying this is where should be the placement of this. So since this is an indoor plant, it can survive even a lower lux of 500-600 lux, which is very less for an indoor plant. And you will see that the new leaf which are coming in is light green, which means that photosynthesis is not happening properly because the light is really less. It will grow, but it will not thrive, and the color will start getting into a fluorescent green rather than a dark green. It's a symptom that the photosynthesis is not happening at the right pace. You might also see the enlarge of the stems coming in, so the internodes will go up, which means that between the two stems, between the two leaves, you will see that the gap will keep going up because again plant को खाना नहीं मिल रहा अच्छे से, जो कि photosynthesis नहीं हो रहा है, तो वो ऊपर भाग रहा है, वो लीफ नहीं बना रहा है because ताकि खाना ज़्यादा ना spread करना पड़े. So this is something you have to take care that when you are putting in a lower light, that you should be okay that it's going lanky and lesser leaves are coming and the color is changing. But if you keep it at around 1,000 to 1,500 lux, which is a window cell, this does perfectly well. It doesn't like extreme weathers. In winters, it doesn't like it. It doesn't like frost. It can take up to a 40-45 degree temperature. So extremes in terms of summer, it's still tolerable. Winter, it doesn't tolerate much of it. So always make sure that you keep it indoors under indirect sunlight, window sill preferably, which gets 1,000 to 1,500 lux, which you can check it from any of the lux apps, the light apps, which are available free on any of the Android and Apple iOS there. And in terms of the placement, also make sure that in the winters, don't put it at a place on a windowsill which is outside, which means that it is exposed to a frost temperature. So a good condition for it to thrive is anything from 20-25 degrees to 30-35, where it likes it. While you're propagating it or you're growing the leaves, a new plant, then always make sure that it has a higher humidity. On a growing stage, it doesn't require anything much around it in terms of the humidity. A normal humidity is good, which is an indoor level humidity. So that's from the placement perspective. The media and food are also important aspects. If you're buying from a good garden center, the food will already be given, so you might have to put it after 6-8 months to a year. You don't feed it very regularly, but yes, feed it at equal intervals, which is 8-10 months around it. Some of the symptoms you can see is whenever your slow releasers which have been put are dissolved, or you can not see the growth coming in. These new shoots, if they are coming, which means that it's doing good, and there's new growth is happening in the plant level, which means the root part is also doing good. And for the lot of times I've seen that this is available in the soil media. I don't recommend it to put it in a soil. In case you have it, you can repot it in the Feb, in a autumn and spring time, anytime. So right now, if you have it in a soil, you can change it and repot it into a Feb time, into a soilless media, which is a cocoa peat, and mix it with perlite or cocoa husk or rice husk. I've talked about those videos also in Anuke Nuske on what type of a potted mix you should have. So you can watch the soil mix there in that sense. It has a beautiful use case in terms of the decor. So when you are decorating it, this is a beautiful, elegant plant which can put it on your center tables on it, and it will really look beautiful. Lot of time we have seen that we have used this into different sides of pot. This is an ideal pot for this size, but you can take a tray type of a format also, and can put 2 or 3 plants, so you can have a really bushy plant also, and which can come on a center table if you have a round shaped center table around it. So this is for the plant care and its decor and what this type of a plant is. In case you want to know anything more about this plant, do just send us a message below and we'll be happy to help you around. If you have a ZZ, give me a thumbs up and put your photos around so that I see that a lot of people have this plant at home. Remember the name, it's ZZ or Zamioculcas zelki. I want to know what are the new topics you guys want to have. If you're a new plant parent, what is one thing you want to know about, or any specific topics which you want us to cover. Do keep it in the comments below and we'll love to take them up, especially for you, so that you guys can grow greener, healthier and bushier babies at home. Alright, thank you so much for watching this. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.